Oh, man, now that I have seen that on TV, that is the shiz night. You shut up, you hear me? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, and people are trying to sleep. Blah, 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 blah. Wait till Ramp It Up 46 years about this.
Who's that?
Hello? The chat room? I have a life. Now get the gasoline. It's blocking the yard.
That oil needs to be disposed of properly.
You know the river is over 2 miles from here? You didn't expect me home from the whipped cream store so soon, did you? I wasn't always a superstar. I used to be a boring old cop. Why would anyone make a show about something you'd throw away? But things change, my friend. Money rolls in like waves lapping on the shore. And if you've got talent, well, they'll find you.
It all started with an intoxicated voicemail from Dana Snyder. Dana, one of the absolute best in the business from the very beginning, from day one. Just a very eccentric individual. I mean, he had his own female posse called the Hot Clocks, or so I've heard. And before Aqua Teen really got off the ground, in Dana's perspective, I imagine this was just a whole shot-in-the-dark experience in Las Vegas that would just open thousands upon thousands of doors for him. I mean, I remember back in 05 when I was happy about his new role as Granny Kyler, and those were the only two I really knew. Shake wailing on Meatwad, and then Granny getting wailed on by Early. And now, Disney, fucking SpongeBob, he just voiced Snagglepuss, for Christ's sakes. I mean, what are the odds? But yeah, all of that has to do with Dana's talent, and without Dana, I mean, I would always like to say that it all began with the cup. It all started with the cup. But the thing about it is that if Dana wasn't around, Master Shake still would have been a thing, but I just don't know if he would have taken off. I don't doubt the gift of Dave Lewis and Matt Malero for a second, but it's very obvious. Dana just absolutely elevated everything that Shake had. And, I mean, you get to the absolute masterpiece that is Season 2, and everything just feels so fucking ad-libbed and improvised. It just feels like Dana's natural humor is there. And I'm not bullshitting when I say any of this, by the way. I mean, I met Dana in person, and he is just exactly what he was like in Season 2, just 10 times over. I mean, if you want him to sign your ass, he'd delightfully do it. But we can fuck off with the voice acting and just get to the character already. Baffler Meal. The very concept of Master Shake himself, actually, Ignignar was the sole inspiration behind that. Before they settled on a parody of E.T. from Atari, Ignignar was Shake, was Frylock, and Meatwad was still Meatwad, just very suicidal.
Please, God, kill me.
They wanted to get that as a Space Ghost episode a long time ago, and both Mike Lazo and Cartoon Network, they just weren't going to go for that. And it wasn't even that it was bad or anything, it just dared to be different. Nobody was really even paying that much attention to Space Ghost as is during Cartoon Network days. Adult Swim and Aqua Teen just did incredible wonders for it. You know, you'd think this outlandish and out-of-place show on Midnight Cartoon Network with celebrities walking into black rooms and just getting pissed off, you know, you'd think they'd appreciate a chocolate milkshake arguing with a 1960s Hanna-Barbera Batman ripoff over a houseboat, but evidently not. Apparently it was too much for them. So when they did the pilot for Aqua Teen, it was just that exact same on-the-whim feeling. And everyone brings up, well, they were detectives because they pitched them as detectives, and then they just stopped very, very early on. And it's not even just that. That's the best part. At the time, it was an absolute reach, just to show Master Shake on virtually any network at all, just first and foremost. And the way the pilot just went around in circles, the way you would just have that character pouting and just... You know, it really doesn't matter how rough Rabot was. That was just absolutely fucking legendary to have that on TV. And as Master Shake went along, just, he has those specific quirks about him, but I think just the exposure to Moonanites and Carl especially. I mean, it's hard to say because the living room is his room, and the earliest establishment about him was that he's just constantly watching TV and these shit scary movies, and I guess he just liked the idea. He's always loved the idea of superiority. That's the one thing. But I think as time went along, specifically with the Moonanites and where they how they figured out how the show could go on from that. Shake decides, he wants to be cool as well. He wants to be, popular. So that's about women, I guess. And I think Carl especially, changed his mind view on that.
The only cooking she's doing tonight.
Stop where you are. I know what you're going to say. You're going to make some lewd reference to cooking being like sex.
But you and I know that you will be sizzling like fajita meat.
Carl, please.
Love Mummy was the first episode that really established Shake as just this bombarding asshole. Just this entitled little bratty fuck. One of my personal favorites was Old Drippy. Whenever, Shake just having his own way, just making an absolute mess. He creates this monster made out of mold. And then the mold monster ends up being this incredibly nice and respectful person, which Shake is the absolute opposite. So he gets himself kicked out in the rain. And Old Drippy, being as nice as he is, heals Shake with medicine, nurses him back to health, and even saves his own life when Shake's reading coupons out in the middle of the street. He pushes him out the way, jumps in front of a semi that kills him, and Shake is still just rambling on about just the same bullshit, and even like a less complicated version of that. Any typical episode where the character is not paying any bills, and he loses the power in his house. Usually there's a whole thing about, getting money or something like that. No, Shake goes right next to Carl's house and makes his life a living fucking hell.
Oh, Carl, calm down. Listen, look. We'll be there in a couple of hours, okay?
These are just brief examples of how Aqua Teen just subverted expectations. And the best thing about Master Shake, even when he's at his most over the top, he's never actually over the top. The appeal with Eric Cartman in the beginning was that he was just a whining little shithead, like all kids are. And then 5 seasons in, he makes a teenager eat his own parents. So, I mean, with Shake, it's like there's a lot of people that critique adult animation that are just very dense and just like, oh, these are just the exact same thing, and they know absolutely nothing. They don't bother to look into the writing that isn't completely overbearing, and I think that's where Shake comes in. You just can't make up any asinine message behind Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And that, along with Shake, is just the true secret to its success.
But you're swimming right now.
What I'm doing is merely swirling the water about. That's not a crime.
Shake, we swam enough now.
That darn cup.